you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel.
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
You put pressure on the cornerback and good things happen, and we did that. That's when the defense played well tonight was when we got pressure.
What? Lincoln Riley. Again, it seems interesting that it's been a week now since OU spring activity. We were all gearing up for the big Lee Bryce concert, getting ready to see what the defense looked like, getting ready to see the quarterbacks. That is all gone now. OU's defense, as we talked about, Speed D, will be predicated on turnovers. Interesting piece in The Athletic. I was reading just a mailbag of different questions, different thoughts for the team. And they're trying to put a number on it, but how many takeaways? Again, this was a team that epic, historic, horrific number, or lack of, I should say, takeaways a year ago. How much can we expect that to improve? Now, that is one thing, takeaways, that a different attitude, that a different approach can get you different results. So, I mean, that is one quick way to turn around your defense is if you can get guys more aggressive and get them after the football.
Are you throwing that to me?
I think that was intended for you. RJ Young joins us, OUinsider.com. RJ, takeaways. Your take.
Hey, if it's Paul throwing the passes, then probably not. But, hey, Paul, I expect 20. I think that's a good number. I think everybody can expect 20. They had 11 last year, and they were garbage. They were dead last, as he liked to point out, in pass defense. But they also had timely, awesome takeaways. Talking about, like, West Virginia to win that game late, where you have Kenneth Mann get the strip. You got Caleb Kelly coming in and pick it up. You also had some that safety against Sam Ehlinger and Texas in the Big 12 title game. That's a takeaway. I mean, you had them when you needed to have them, when it was time to bail somebody out, and the defense actually did a job in bailing some folks out, getting a couple of stops toward the latter half of the season. But outside of that, I mean, if you get to his 24 number, you get to 9 wins. At Oklahoma, 9 wins is not a good season. So I'm thinking that 20 is a good number, but with this offense, you should be able to compete, and you should be pretty good. And a lot of those takeaways probably going to come in the latter half for the same reason that they did last year, which is I think that's when you can expect this defense to start to gel and start to get a really good read on what it's going to look like, as frustrating as that is to hear.
I like the fact that Alex Grinch doesn't take, hey, the narrative, coaching in the Big 12 is hard, yada, yada, yada. He doesn't take any notion to that. But if you look at it, RJ, OU, the offense sets the defense up perfectly in the sense of getting takeaways. The reason why is because the offense, if it gets hot, which just about every game, it's gonna rack up some points quickly. It just puts so much pressure on the opposing offense. It just always does, because the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, whoever's in charge of the team you're playing against, they immediately feel they got to match score for score. And generally, that's when a defense can pounce. I mean, they can literally, when you get other offenses behind the 8 ball where they feel like they got to go compete with your offense, they're going to get out of their rhythm, they're going to get out of their element, and that's when you can, I mean, so I think if you really kind of break down with Alex Grinch, he's like, I can coach these guys. Yeah, I'll take that job because I'm going to get help from my offense. And I think that's where on my mind, OU, that's where they can excel. See what I almost did there? I almost did strike one there, RJ.
Hey, man, I was going to let you roll with it because maybe you were going someplace. I was going to let you go there. I was going to let you go there.
Yeah, RJ, Philip Montgomery, your thoughts.
Man. All right, so I got a take on that, right? And it's that the reason that we like to watch Russell Westbrook play at OKC is not necessarily just for the triple doubles, right? It is for the idea that he's going to bring it every single possession. You have an immense pressure on you to defend Russell Westbrook. You have an immense pressure on you to know that he's going to be charging at the rim. And that's what we like about him, and that's the best part of his game. And that's Oklahoma's offense. You have an immense pressure on you to know that you got to get a stop. And if you get a stop, the offense has even more pressure to do something with that stop and go get 6 or 7 or whatever it might be. And with Grinch, you have immense pressure to try to get the ball back in your own head, right? It's not exactly the same sort of deal, especially if you know that you have a Russell Westbrook to carry you. Now, the problem is, and this is where the Thunder are up a creek going into tonight's game, if the offense ain't firing, or the offense isn't the offense that it's been for 2017, 2018, you could have a rough year. And that is something that we're taking as a given because Lincoln Riley's calling the plays and he's the head coach and we know all the talent that is returning and just coming an influx on that offense. But what happens if the offense stalls? What happens if the offense can't move the ball? Can Alex Grinch's defense be good enough to keep you in games? And I want to see that. And what he's telling everybody publicly is, no, we can't. We're not very good right now. We're absolutely trash. Okay, fine. But come August 31st, it better be something else entirely, or your absolute trash better look really good to the rest of us.
Hey, Archie, I was looking on OUinsider.com, and there was a piece that basically team notes, recruiting notes from yesterday. And they mentioned, looking at 2020 quarterback prospect, and the name, when I saw it, my eyes kind of popped out of my head a little bit. It's Eli Williams, who's a local product kid from Sapulpa. I do the radio for Sapulpa football, and again, this kid has really seen a lot of growth from last year to this past season, and you expect that to continue. But apparently OU is somewhat of interest on him. He's just starting to pick up interest from OU. Brian Odom is the recruiter on him, but I'll be honest, again, when watching this kid play as a sophomore to now where he could be part of OU's offense in the future is very interesting.
Well, let's flip it then. Sapulpa radio announcer, what is this guy? What's his upside? What's his stock value? Where are you going to put him?
He's a big body kid. I mean, he's all of 6'5", has room to grow. He's a tremendous athlete, really good speed. I would put him more as he's more of a Vince Young type of runner. He's not a Kyler Murray type because he's a bigger kid. Has a strong arm, has to refine some throwing, but he's done that really well. Like I said, the growth from one year to the next. I'll be honest, this was a kid that when I saw him play, even this past season, I didn't know if he was an OU quarterback. He was definitely going to be a college quarterback, but again, it's interesting to see that OU obviously is evaluating him. Again, it's very early in the process, and there's a lot that will happen between now and the 2020 signing class, but I was surprised to see that. Other guys, again, as we're...
Wait. Are you feeling that sweat? You feeling that sweat as you give your evaluation over the air? You feeling that? Just a little bit? As the white polo shirt is in front of you? You're not feeling that at all?
No.
Okay, all right.
I thought I gave a good evaluation.
I thought so too, but out here in Radio Land, we're gonna be checking your balances on this, sir. Okay, we're gonna watch this huddle film, and we're gonna come back to you with, hey, I don't know, you Vince Young, really? Is that your comp, sir? I don't know. Looks real Nick Fitzgerald. I'm giving you noise, Patrick.
Again, size-wise, the way I think size and stature is similar. Again,
first round, second round. Where are we thinking he's going to go?
In the draft? That's a good question.
I think Austin knows I'm just joshing. Because that's how we talk about some of these 16, 17-year-old kiddos. But you make a good point in that it seems the Bryce Young ship has sailed. And you need a quarterback for your 2020 class. As good as it looks to be, I didn't really know where he was going to go with this either. So when Brandon, that's his note, that's his news to drop, attached Eli Williams, I, like you, was like, okay, cool. And I'm having some phone calls, some conversations about him because I haven't seen him play live, and that's going to be a priority this year. But if, as with all things, if Lincoln Riley likes a kid, you automatically have to like a kid. Which also goes back to my point about this area and high school football recruiting in this area. Kids can play, all right? And sometimes it takes somebody else snubbing you for you to remember that. But there's a lot of good Division I football talent in Green Country. And I know that's going to frustrate a lot of people to keep hearing it because they don't see him going to Oklahoma. But that's the fact of the matter is. You get snubbed by the kid that you want. He's committed to USC, comes out in modern day. But you know what? In your backyard, 100 miles down the road at Sapulpa, you got a kid that you think can absolutely run your offense in a few years.
It's interesting. I'm looking at his page on 24/7, Eli Williams' page. He has offers, according to 24/7, from TCU, North Texas, Kansas State. And we talked about this yesterday, Austin, Eastern Michigan.
Eastern Michigan, they're slinging around.
They're all over Oklahoma.
Yeah, but they're slinging around scholarships like chocolate. You know, I would say they probably signed maybe one kid, maybe two. But RJ, I think you're right. And speak on that just a little bit more. You know, we've kind of been flyover for a long time, and now, and it's weird because it just worked out that way when the OSSAA said, "Hey, listen, you can't start spring ball until all your spring sports are done." Oklahoma is put in a situation, the state of Oklahoma is put in a situation where they're literally playing spring ball when really nobody else is. And so it makes it so much easier for not just local Big 12 coaches, but everybody comes into Oklahoma. And now that you're getting kids going to Bama and getting offers from Ohio State, going to Ohio State, you're getting offers from all over the country, we're starting to see, because I think the talent kind of has always been there, but now it's spotlighted. Now you're going to get more coaches in. And does it make it harder for OU or not? Maybe. But at the same time, OU's still going to get the pick of the litter, and they're still going to get the kids who have grown up wanting to go to OU. And obviously, it's real easy, especially at the quarterback position, when you've had the success you've had recently. These high school kids watch that. They're Baker Mayfield fans or Kyler Murray fans, and, hey, I want to be the next guy.
Right, and I think you're also going into another point of they're always going to get that guy. But are the offers always committable? And Oklahoma's not in the business of sending out offers that aren't committable, because that's going to put you in a bind. That's a bad look. And I did a bit on this on Fight Me. But the shot is, if you offer a kid in Oklahoma, you have to be prepared to take him the next day as the prize of the entire state. And I would include OU football ahead of OKC Thunder basketball every day of the week. That's just what your kind of sway you're going to have here. But it also means that you're probably going to be late on some kids for evaluation reasons because of spring ball, but also because you think you can get them later, and that's not necessarily the case. I mean, prime example would be Josh Proctor, the 2017 class, and everybody's looking at how does nobody want Mason Fine? Well, there's a good argument for Mason Fine never sees the field at Oklahoma based on what you've seen at quarterback, right? And that might have been, for my money, the best high school football prospect, or best, not prospect, but quarterback from a production standpoint to come out of Oklahoma, maybe ever. So, I mean, it's a really dicey game, and it feels like sometimes I'm banging on him a little hard, but I am going to bang on him a little hard because you can drive down there 100 miles and you can talk to some people. You know, I get it. I do. I get both sides, but your job at the end of the day, the University of Oklahoma, is to never miss on a kid that you should have that comes out of this state.
You know, it's funny. Okay. We got to go.
We got to move on. Yeah, we're way over. We got to get to Bill Haston. RJ, thanks, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.